55, verse 4. Wait. I am backtracking. I already read John 8:14 and Isaiah 55:4 and Colossians 1:18, and then I read the Revelations, which was 14, and I made the 14 look like an H, so I was confused. And now I'm at John 13:34. Oh, that's why the Bible was opened in this area. John 13, verse 34. With all the distractions, it's probably hard to understand. A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another, and I have loved you, that ye also love one another. So yes, we should love each other. Like, the Bible says that we should forgive. Like, you can't have hate in your heart and get into heaven. It's just not going to happen. You have to forgive everybody. Like, this is something I've been talking about with my friends. You can't just forgive one person. You have to forgive everybody. You're not going to make it into heaven just forgiving one person. You have to forgive everyone. If, like, that man that shot the little boy recently, his family has to let go, and they have to forgive him, even though they don't want to. They have to have forgiveness in their heart. They know that what he did is wrong, but they still have to forgive him in their heart. I've read stories about people who had, like, a family member that got shot, and they held all this anger and resentment, and they found it in their hearts to forgive that person and let go, because in order to get into heaven, you're going to have to forgive. Like, another example, if you've been raped, you have to somehow let go and find it in your heart to have forgiveness for that person. I know you don't have to like them. You don't ever have to go around them again. But you just have to find it in your heart to forgive them, to be able to move on from it, to be able to get into heaven. Because we're not going to make it up there with hate in our heart. And we have to pray and seek God and help God, help Him to help us to be able to forgive. Now, I was trying to go over to John 13:34. Did I read that already? Sorry if this video is all over the place.
Here's another cleaning tip from Mr. Clean. Cleaning tip
13:34. A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another, and I have loved you, that ye love one another. Okay, that's what got me talking about forgiveness. Okay, back on track. Hebrews 9:14.
For amazing clean, try Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Mr. Clean Magic Eraser Sheets.
Every day, women get their best ideas in the shower. Caress immerses your senses with silk extract.
I actually feel bad. I'm not going to church later, but I am doing something to make money, and I am going to let my son go to fellowship supper. Hebrews 9:14. How much more shall the blood of Christ, who through the eternal spirits offered himself without spot to God, purge your conscience from dead works to serve the living God? Purge your conscience from dead works to serve the living God. Now, we're going to go back to Revelations and try to finish reading chapter 1.
And turn your favorite foods into new favorite stories.
Verse 8. And to the angel of the church in Samaria write these things, which the first and the last, which was dead and is alive. I know thou works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know that blasphemy of them which say they are Jews are not, but are the synagogues of Satan. Fear none of these things which thou suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tired, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit say unto the churches. He that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death. And I think it repeats this at the end of each chapter, that he that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit say unto the churches. And the reference for verse 7 was Matthew 24:30.
Hey, baby. It's me. Call me. Turn that up.
And then shall appear in the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven, with power and great glory. Zechariah 12:10-14. Zechariah is one of those books that I don't think we go too much, so I have to find where it's at in the Bible. It's not a book that I'm familiar with, but I believe it is in the Old Testament. Okay, I'm just going to use the front to find it quicker. Zechariah, where are you? Okay, I was right. It's in the Old Testament, page 1360. Like I said, in the other video, I'm trying to learn where the books in the Bible are so I can find them faster. Zechariah 12:10-14. I went to a Christian school and we had a test on this one time. We were supposed to put all the books in exact order, and I did not do a very good job on that. I'm still trying to learn at 35 years old. Zechariah 12:10-14. And I will pour upon the house of David and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem the spirit of grace of supplicants, and supplicants, and they shall look upon me whom they have pierced, and they shall mourn for him as one mourneth for him and his only son. This is one of those that have a word that's hard to pronounce. Let's see what the NIV has it as. For those of y'all prefer the Bible. Zechariah 12. And we're going to verse 10. And I will pour out on the house of David and the inhabitants of Jerusalem a spirit of grace and supplication. And one mourneth for his only son, and shall be in bitterness for him, as one that is in bitterness for his firstborn. In that day shall there be a great mourning in Jerusalem, as the mourning of Hadrimmon in the valley of Megadon. And the land shall mourn every family apart, the family of the house of David apart, and their wives apart, and the family of the house of Nathan apart, and their wives apart, the family of the house of Levi apart, and their wives apart, the family of Shemaiah Shimei apart and their wives apart. All the families that remain, every family apart and their wives apart. What does this mean?
I'm so sorry. Morgan didn't even.
Is this
In that day shall there be a great mourning in Jerusalem, as the mourning of Hamdan and the valley of Megadon, and the family shall mourn, every family apart, the family of the house of David apart, and the family of their wives apart, the family of the house of Nathan apart, and their wives apart, the family of the house of Levi apart, and their wives apart, the family of Shema apart, and their wives apart, and the family remain, every part family and their wives apart.
Scott? Mom, you gotta eat something.
Now,
Maybe some food.
my understanding of what this means, I guess, is that if everyone in the family don't believe, some family members are going to go to heaven, and the ones that don't get saved are going to go down. And I guess that's what it means by families will be apart. Verse 8, the reference was Isaiah 41:4. Who hath wrought and done is calling the generations from the beginning. I, the Lord, the first, is the last.
Baby Angela's on the phone.
I am He.
Wayne called twice today.
Yeah, it looked like it.
Verse 8,
Found out in last call, starting Wednesday, 8/7 Central on Bounce.
the verse that goes with it is Revelation 4:9 through 11.